And Shalom, Shalom, Makim Nakwal. This is your brother Azariah. I want to start by giving all the praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Yahweh being the true name of the Most High God, and doing so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world knows as Jesus Christ, but we know His true name to be Yahawashi, and He is the Hamashiach. All right, and today the lesson we're going to work on is we're going to deal with Zechariah 2 and 11. We're going to deal with Zechariah 2 and 11 because it seems to be, a stumbling block to a lot of brothers and sisters. And, based on the way it's worded, you could get lost. I had my brother Marcos brought this up to my attention. And, it's just something we was talking about. We was chopping it up about last night. So we're going to go ahead and just, pray the Most High gives us the edification to edify others. And we're going to go through here and, bring some precepts to kind of get an understanding. I think he said he heard there was a particular brother, I guess, in the song or whatever, the nature, and he brought these precepts out. So let's go ahead and address the understanding, because people try to use this and you'll get the understanding that, all nations can be saved. But we know, according to the flow of the scriptures, precept upon precept, line upon line, that can't be so. So let's start by reading Zechariah 2 and 11. And many nations shall be joined to the Lord Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that Yahweh of hosts hath sent me unto thee. All right, so when you read it, it sounds as if and many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day. And when you look at it, you're thinking, okay, the many nations is talking about the other nations that are, the heathen nations, the natural heathen nations. But when we read for one, when you look at the scripture in terms of the context of what's being written and who this is talking about, you'll get a clear understanding, because it gets confusing when you just try to isolate scriptures to themselves. And that's when brothers and sisters, they could see that, and in face value, it just does look like, okay, it's talking about the other nations. But let's just continue to read. Right, Zechariah 2 and 11. We're going to start off at 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations. Look at that. After the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of my eye. Okay? For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that Yahweh of hosts have sent me. This is dealing with a time that's going to happen. This is future prophecy, actually dealing in the time of entering the new covenant, given that the Most High is given to his people, right? Who will be considered his people, called by his name, right? For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that Yahweh of hosts have sent me. Right? He's going to spoil them. Now let's read verse 10, right? Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion. For lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith Yahweh. Okay? So he's saying, O daughter of Zion. We know Zion's dealing with Israel, right? For lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people. Okay, so when we go into that, we see who he's talking about. Now let's go into the word nations, right? So that we're not just caught up in every time it means nations, it's always dealing with the other nations. We got to see which is so. Let's go into the word. Hold on. 10. Get back here into nations. All right.
Strong's H 1471. Goy.
All right, so nations is translated into the word goy, right? Which it just means nation, people, usually of non-Hebrew people, but it also means of descendants of Abraham of Israel, right? So it could mean any particular nation, right? Also of Israel, just depends on how you use it. Depends on how you're reading it, right? You got to see how it's being read. And when you go into the join part, to be joined, right? To attend, join to oneself, to be joined on to. Join the nations together, the nations that Israel were scattered into. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get a precept on that. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 33. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths as long as it lieth desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land, even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbaths. Because we were going off. Jacob was going off. Our forefathers were going off and disobeying the ways of the Most High, which we could read up and above what would happen. Of course, in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and various other chapters as well, of what would happen if we disobeyed. And one of those things was being scattered and far off. And even afterwards, the kingdoms were split. They were continuously split, northern and southern kingdom. So we were, our people were among the heathen. This is a continuous theme. Let's go back to the book of Zechariah. Let's go to 7 and 14. But I scattered them. We can start right there. Let's start at 12. Zechariah 7 and 12. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which Yahweh of hosts, the armies, have sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from Yahweh of armies. Therefore it has come to pass that as he cried, and they would not hear, so they cried, and I would not hear, saith Yahweh of hosts. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations, whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through nor returned, for they laid the pleasant land desolate. So we were scattered with the whirlwind among all the nations because of our disobedience. That was part of the curses that the Most High had promised would happen to us if we violated his covenant, or you could say contractual or agreement, right? The agreement that we'd have between the Most High, between the children of Israel and the Most High. And it was only between the Most High and the children of Israel. Now let's get another precept actually let's do this. Let's go back to Zechariah 2 and 11 and read it again. And many nations shall be joined to the Lord Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that Yahweh of hosts have sent me on to thee. Now let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 8, verse 11. This was another precept that was brought out. But it actually, I don't know why this would help someone, in this case that believes that, because when you look at it, it actually helps the cause and the case study that it is Israel that's scattered abroad. This actually fits right in. This fits perfectly into, the narrative that the Bible already holds. Matthew 8 and 11. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Right? It's talking about Israel. With Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we know that the three that represent the fathers that represent Israel are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being his name being changed to Israel, right? The descendants come from him, right? Now, someone may, look at the children of the kingdom. Children of the kingdom is talking about Israel too, right? Because it's only dealing with Israel in regards to kingdom of heaven conversations. We can't find anything that has to do with, the other nations receiving salvation, right? Because they're already in their salvation. The salvation is what? Being saved from the hand of the enemies that hate us. And that's where we are right now in the land of our captivity. So what's going to happen is the ones that are people we're scattered abroad, where the Most High is going to bring those of the Israelites that are believers in Yahawashi. He's going to bring them, the elect, the chosen, his people from across the east, the west, the four corners of the earth. That's why the gospel has to get spread to the four corners, right? Matthew 24 and 12. Not 24 and 12. 24 and 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached into all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Right? We got to get spread to all nations, because why? We're scattered amongst all nations. That's why. Again, let's go into one more time. Let's go to the book of let's go to Zechariah chapter 8 and verse 7. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people. I will be their God in truth and in righteousness. So there you go. You know, that's the understanding dealing with Zechariah 2 and 11. It doesn't mean that, you know, the other nations are going to be saved in terms of obtaining salvation. They will obtain their rightful place. They will be in the kingdom of heaven, but of course, where are they going to be? Let's look at the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You know, so there you go. That's what's going to happen to the other nations, all those that held Israel in subjection and in captivity. They oppressed them. Now they got to get their just due, especially Esau. They're going to be possessions and handmaids, the remnant that's left of them. That's where they're going to be doing. They're going to be in the kingdom of heaven, being servants and handmaids, going through some hardcore, brutal work. There is no, righteousness of them that are going to be ruling with Israel. There's none of them that's equal to Israel. That's not what's in the Bible. So I hope this was, and there's a lot of precepts. There's plenty more precepts. Me and the brother Marcos was just going over some. He was texting me just a minute ago, just texting me more and more precepts. So I hope this was edifying for brothers and sisters. Not let scriptures, you got to read them in the whole context of the Bible. Just read them in the whole context of that chapter, and they'll probably actually give you the answer a lot of times, more often than not. Got to have a continuity, a flow in the Bible, right? One verse says something where it looks like it might be giving you a particular view, or that could lead to a doctrine. You got to look at the other precepts. Don't just stop right there. Read the whole chapter if you need to. Know where to stop, and then go to another verse. Does it validate what you're believing? Does it validate what you think that verse isolated means? Okay, so make sure we do that, brothers and sisters. I hope this was edifying. And of course, I want to give all the praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth that are learning and or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Till next time, Yahweh willing, Shalom.